Hey, so Becky, we're going live any second now. Who do you want to do a shout out to?
Oh, I want to shout out to my manager, Kimley Smith, and all of my family and friends. Hey,
All
everyone.
right, Kimley Smith, family and friends. Here we go. Hey guys, we are back for another amazing show. We're talking with Becky Birdsong today. Becky has spent her life acting and telling stories of love and acceptance and friendship. Nowadays, you might see her on TV. Also the supporting lead in the award-winning short film called Testimony, currently making the film festival rounds, and has another short tackling abuse against women and other difficult conversation that's in post-production. We're going to talk today about all those things, and let's jump right into it. Becky, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, Michael. It's so great to see you again.
I am happy to be here. I love the fact that we are going to get to talk about acting from the actor's perspective and what the audience might want to learn and know and be and do and all those sorts of things. Let's talk about some of the things that you do as an actor. And this, I really want to just jump right into this. A lot of
Okay.
times you work with difficult roles. Actors in general might work with difficult roles like abuse
hmm
to you, and you are not an abusive person. I don't know if you've been abused, but how does one actually work with that when you have to do a role that involves things like abuse?
Um, well, I mean, you have any sort of difficult subject matter, first of all, if it's something that you don't have a connection with, or even if you do have a connection with, as an actor, you want to do some research on it so you can understand the subject matter. You can understand your character's point of view, and then you want to infuse that into your character and create a whole backstory, maybe with some of that knowledge. Yeah.
So does that research involve reading, or does it actually involve going out and talking to people who've experienced it or experiencing it yourself, or what?
Yeah, it could be a combination of both, depending on what you find and what you have access to. So, being an actor, it's not just memorizing lines and then just, doing them in front of a camera or on stage. You actually have to, do some work behind all of that because our job is to tell the truth. And you want to infuse that into your character, into all of the work that you do. So I would start with some research, and then to bring that truth out, maybe think about some situations I've been in where I felt unsafe, or where I felt threatened or something like that, and maybe infuse some of that those feelings into my performance. But you also want to keep yourself safe, so you also have to use your imagination. So that's why when you hear actors talk about a backstory they created, they use their imagination for that, because you want to keep yourself safe. I mean, on stage, you're doing 8 performances a week. On camera, you're doing take after take after take. So that can really take its toll on you emotionally
Mhm.
and physically. So you have to, as an actor, make sure that you're keeping yourself safe.
So when you say safe, what do you're talking about mentally safe or physically
Yes.
safe?
100% both, definitely mentally, because, that could, reliving that sort of trauma over and over and over again, with anyone who has actually experienced it, it's going to take a toll on you. So, that's why you want to create that backstory. That's why you want to make sure that you're, breathing, you're going out with friends, you're still trying to live your life, and don't let that experience that you're, living every performance, or, on a set, you're not taking that home with you.
So how do you tell the difference between, and this is probably just a neophyte question that I have, but what's the
hmm
difference between acting and pretending?
Well, pretending, I mean, think about when you were a kid and maybe you had a hairbrush and you're standing in front of your mirror singing to your favorite song.
Okay.
You're still using your imagination. You're imagining that you're, that artist singing that song, but you're pretending.
Okay.
When you're acting on stage or in a film, you've been hired to portray the life of a character and to tell the story of the characters, in the film or the theater production that you've been cast in. So then you're not pretending, because you actually have this world that you're living in. So and I'm not explaining this so well, and it's just so much more complicated than what I'm saying. So it's kind of, that's why it's so hard for actors to really explain what we do. But we're not pretending that we're Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman. We are Willie Loman, and we are living this experience, the struggle that he's having with his 3 sons, and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's so hard for me to like really get down to the nuts and bolts of it. But what I would say to anyone who's had a play, a film, a TV show, a character from any of those that has really resonated with you, then the actor has done a very good job of telling the truth of that character.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to I want people to understand that there is a difference between the two, acting
Yeah.
and pretending, and that there is actually portray these characters is, how do you stop yourself from becoming that character or diving too into it? You talked about that safe space.
Well, I mean, for me, it's, you take a deep breath after, your scene is done. They say, cut, or, you've done your scene on stage and you walk out. You take a deep breath. You maybe go to your dressing room, go back to your trailer. You maybe call someone if you have a break. I know some actors, I know when I was doing stage work, I had pictures of like family and friends and stuff like that on in the mirror, attached to the mirror in my dressing room. So you just get back to reality,
Okay.
get back to your life, get back to your real world. And then there's, when actors are always in class. I don't know if you've heard that expression, like, you're an actor, you're always in class, So you just learn ways of being able to drop into a character, to drop into a scene, and drop it and drop out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What is some of the roles, or what is one of the roles that you've played where you've gotten into a character and you've had to do one of these difficult scenes, like abuse or something?
Yeah, I wouldn't really say abuse, but there has been, I'm trying to think of a role. There was a role I did in college, where I played a character that was just mean. It was just the total opposite of myself, and was, verbally abusive to another woman, and which, again, not me. But I played Inez in No Exit. I don't know if any of your watchers are familiar with that, but it was hard for me to play that role, because, again, it's not me. So then what I had to do was just, use my imagination and create this backstory of why I would respond that way or treat another person that way. Like, what happened to me in my life, that character's life, Inez, that would cause her to react that way or to treat someone that way. So that's why I'm saying it's not really pretending, because you are still creating the truth of this character, but you're using your imagination. You might infuse a little bit of your personal experience. Like, maybe there was this one moment when I snapped, at someone, and I'm like, oh, okay, we'll use that, So that's why I say it's kind of complicated, because you're just using all the sorts of these different things to just tell the truth of this character.
I get it. There's one example from my life, or not an example, it's just a story from my life. I remember watching Roots back in the day. It was Alex Haley's Roots, and it's about these, slaves and all this kind of stuff. And as an audience member, you feel that in your gut. It's like when they're getting beat or taken or killed or whatever. And then you wonder, like, what do the characters that are Black feel? What do the characters who are white feel? And then after you're done with that scene, do you just go out and like, hey, that was a great scene, let's go get a beer? How does a scene like that make you feel as an actor?
Yeah, it's hard to portray that, something that close to you, as an African American, you experience, racism and discrimination. Um, our ancestors actually took the beatings and, the separation from their families and all of those horrible experiences. So we, have not lived that. But we still, as African Americans, know how it feels to be, or any marginalized, group of people. You still understand how that feels. Like it's not too hard for you to get there
Right.
because you're experiencing it just on a different level now in modern day. So you would use some of that, I think, some of your own experiences, but then you would also have to do some research on that time period and get an understanding of why what was going on, slavery and all of that, and why they were treated a certain way. But to answer your question about how do then the actors, the Black actors and the white actors, then go on to continue to, do these scenes over and over again, and then, go and have a beer. You have to do that. I know some directors will actually have rehearsals before, they film, and they will have conversations. They will sit down with the actors. The actors will have open conversations about racism, the discrimination they face, the guilt, that maybe some of the white actors feel, and you just get that out in the open. And then I also have heard, like, after difficult scenes like that, you take a moment to hug each other. You
Yeah.
take a moment to reconnect as human beings now in 2022 or whenever it is that you're filming it. So that's what I mean about about keeping yourself safe and then bringing yourself back to your reality after you've done some of these difficult scenes.
Wow, that helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The talking in the small group, I guess, before and
Yeah.
after the scenes actually makes a lot of sense, and I could see how you would be able to portray it then. What
Mm-hmm.
when just on a personal note, what do you like doing best? Do you like doing the movies, or do you like doing live stage work? You like independent films for getting the
Mm-hmm.
emotions across the people? What do you like the best?
Well, my first love is theater.
Mhm.
So I love the stage. I love the stage. I love the immediacy of it, and that means, like every show is different because so much of so much of it is it's a shared experience between the audience and the actors on stage. So the audience feeds the actors so much, and I think that's a lot of people who go to theater may not understand that, but your reactions and really help the actor's performance on stage. So remember that, people, next time you go to the theater, you are part. I mean, you are part of that performance. So keep that in mind. But then I do also love TV and film, and just how how it just brings you right in, because the camera, it just captures everything, and you don't have to do as much. I mean, you still have to do that research and all of that personal imagination work and all of that, but it's just right there, and so much of it comes through your eyes. And so, as an actor who's used to theater and having to, do all this, and especially musical theater, it's so nice to be able to just be still and just feel whatever your character is feeling, taking and receiving what the other actor is giving you, and the camera just picks it all up. I mean, it's magic. It really is. I mean, I know Jack Lemmon had a saying, like, every time before they would, do a take, he'd say it's magic time, and it's so true.
That's awesome. So
Mm-hmm.
who's got the responsibility of getting the story out to the audience? In other words, there's somebody who writes a story. Let's say it's a book, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's somebody who actually says, "I'm going to turn this book into a movie." And then there's the actor who says, "I'm going to play this role in the book." And whose job is it then to get that strong emotion, whether it's love or abuse or
Mm-hmm.
terror or whatever, across to the audience? The storyteller? Is it the screenplay writer? Is it the director? Is it the actor? Who does that?
It's a partnership on everyone in that cast and crew. But for a particular scene, it is the responsibility of the director, the actor, and I would say also the director of photography, the person behind the camera. It's a collaboration. That's what's so beautiful about the arts, the performing arts in general. It is such it's a collaboration. So it doesn't just fall on one person. I mean, the director overall, has the vision and is responsible for getting it out of the actors and then communicating with the director of photography. Okay, in this scene, he or she is feeling this way, so I want to get a close up in here, or something. So it's a collaboration.
Mm-hmm. I will say the one thing I've never understood, because I'm not an actor, is how do you tell the difference between a good director bringing out emotion or an actor bringing out the good emotion in a scene? Because someone will say, oh, the actor was great, but the director was horrible. And it's like, I've never seen the director. How do I know that they did a good or bad job?
Gosh, that is an interesting question. I don't know if I know the answer to that because I've never directed. I don't know, but I think it's interesting what you just said. Is that because I kind of feel like if the director is really good, then no one would say that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's hard to answer, Michael. I don't really know. Really know, but I kind of feel like the fact that people will say that if the director is good, they wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I have never figured it out, so I never really
Yeah.
who the best director is, especially in those touching scenes. But they go like the director, at least on a movie, it's the director, and I guess on TV shows, it's more the producers and the actors than something like that. But it's been a big question of mine. So
Yeah.
when people go to movies and they're sitting in the audience and they're starting to engage, what are you hoping? Like, do you sneak into the theater and you go like, okay, are they crying now? Are they laughing now? What do you want people to see when they see Becky Birdsong on stage? What is it all about for you?
I just want them. I just want whatever I do, whatever my fellow castmates do, in the story that we're telling. I just want it to resonate with the audience. You can tell as an audience member, whether it's film, stage, whatever, as an audience member, if I have or if I laugh, or if I cry or something, then they are doing a great job. The actors on stage or on camera or on screen are doing a fantastic job, and that story is resonating with me. So that's what I want to do as an actor. I just want to remind everyone that we're all humans and tell a human story. Hopefully it resonates with you. If it doesn't, maybe at least you have an understanding of, the character or the characters that the film you just saw and what they went through. And you just leave with a better understanding of someone who maybe, you didn't understand before, you didn't get before. So I think, storytelling that's what I love about storytelling. It can be educational, it can be entertaining, thought-provoking. As long as you walk away either having a conversation with the person or persons you experience the theater production or the movie with, or you're just, going home and just, wow, I need to think about that, or something, or that really made me think, or that really moved me or something, then I think we've all done our job.
When you go to a movie yourself, do you go as an actor and critic, or do you go as a fan and just like, I just want to see Avatar? Or do you go and say, Avatar, I want to see how the actors did XYZ? Which one do you do? Just you
I
personally.
definitely go as a fan.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely go as a fan. Because there's so many artists out there that I love. There's stories that I haven't heard of, or there's stories that I have, and I just want to go and see it. I want to feel something. I want to connect. So I think that's why I fell in love with acting, because it really is. As an actor, you're doing the work of human connection. You're teaching human connection. You're provoking human connection. That's why I just love the art form.
Yes. What do you want people to take away from this conversation that you and I just had? What do you want them to go like, oh, I learned this. That's the best thing ever. What is it?
Um, Good question. You have some really good questions.
You have great answers.
I
That's why I keep asking.
thank you.
Going.
I think I just want them to understand mm, the journey that actors go on, and the importance of storytelling, and why maybe it is why actors choose to do it.
Okay.
There's so many people that are like, you're an actor, I don't understand it. Why are you an actor? Why aren't you a banker? Why aren't you a fireman? Why aren't you a lawyer or something? And those are all great professions, and I'm not, poo-pooing on them at all. They're very much needed. But I think you also need theater, you also need film, you need the arts to teach us how to be humans, how to connect, and to promote an empathetic society. I mean, I don't want to get too preachy, but right now we're all so divided. But when you go into a theater, whether it's a movie, whether it's a stage production, for 2.5 hours, sometimes 90 minutes, you are there as a community, and you are experiencing this same experience. And we're all together. I mean, you're clapping together, you're crying together, you're laughing together, you're singing along if you're at a musical or something. And I think we just all need to remember that we are all much more alike and have much more in common than we do differences.
That is so powerful what you just said. We have more in
Thank you.
common than we do differences. And
Mhm.
whether it's religion or politics or life in general, I think you have nailed it with that statement right there.
Oh, thank you.
I think maybe what you should do is like after movies now start this thing where it's like, let's bring the group together and have a coffee and talk about the movie and see if we actually get along.
Yeah, I would love that. That would
That'd
be
be
so
kind of
much
cool, right?
fun.
Becky, I want people to be able to stay in touch with you, and I know that you've got your Instagram and Twitter out there, and it's Becky with two Ks, Bekky Bird.
Mhm.
So people can get in touch with you there. They can get in touch with you through Facebook at Becky.Birdsong. And of course, we've got your movie we didn't get to, and we've been spent to have you come back and talk about this. It's on Vimeo, so we'll just read it out slowly and leave it on the screen for everyone. It's Metro Works Media / testimony teaser trailer, and we can see your work there. And I'm just going to leave that on the screen so people can write it down since they can't copy it. Thank you for being on the show, and I would love to see you again sometime.
Thank you. I would love to come back. This was a joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.